The average American in 2025 believes that they need $2,089,000 to retire with confidence. Now, I don't know if this describes you. This was recently found in a 2025 survey by BlackRock, but the truth is it really depends on the type of person. Now, if you're asking, that maps out to about $70,000 if it were a couple, $70,000 for 30 years of retirement in present day dollars. Now think of your current situation for a moment. If you, let's say you retired at 60 years old, and we'll say we have a genie in a bottle, and we can ask how long we're going to live for. You're going to live till 90. Okay, so for 30 years, could you live on $70,000 of present day money? So would that quality of life continue on, or what would that look like for you? It's an important question to be asking, and today I'm going to share some important statistics around the state of retirement. And I know whenever we give statistics, it doesn't mean it's your specific story or your specific situation, but it is important to know, and it is important to compare in terms of what other folks in retirement are going through or what they might go through. And of course, I just want to keep you having your expectations clear here. So before I do that, of course, I have to give the disclosure. All videos are not recommendations. They are not financial advice, merely education. And today I hope some statistics to help you plan for your retirement and maybe add some urgency if that's what's needed for your plan. So first, let's start with just a few important statistics. The first being that 33% of people right now have no retirement assets. No 401k, no pension, nothing that they can draw from in retirement to help them with their living expenses in retirement. Now, even further along these lines, 33% also represents the same person who could not be able to afford or at least have difficulty in handling an unforeseen expense such as an HVAC going out, such as their dog needing surgery, an event that comes up where they have to quickly find $500 to pay for it. Now finally, and this one is quite scary also, 51% of people surveyed in the same survey just taken this year are more fearful of running out of money in retirement than they are of their own death. Now, stop and think for a moment, because that does sound pretty crazy to be more fearful of running out of money than dying, but that really speaks volumes about the importance of quality of life, of the importance of having dignity and confidence in retirement, and that's really, at the end of the day, what proper planning provides for you. So that is one thing that's important to consider. You see that's a late night here. One thing that's important to consider early on is that you don't want to be a part of those statistics, okay? This is very important that you stay ahead of the game. But let's move on to Social Security. And I know I've talked about this in a previous video, but just to quickly highlight that, as of right now, it is April 2025, Social Security is set to run out in a decade. In 2035, Social Security is set to run out, and that does not mean that the faucet's going to turn off and you are no longer going to receive your benefit. What's stated right now is about 83% of your current benefit is what you can expect, okay? So for easy math, if you're getting $10 from someone and we all of a sudden change Social Security, now you're just getting about $8.30 from that person. And you can expect that to dwindle, right? So if 2035, you have 83% of your benefit, you can expect that to go down 81, 80, 79, and so forth. And the reason is Social Security is going to change from being funded by a big basket known as the Social Security Trust Fund, and it's going to be funded by people still working. And when we think about who's working, we know that there's less people being born today. There's been less people born in the last 10 years compared to the boomers and the earlier generations. So we're just simply talking about a mismatch in terms of the amount of people working versus the amount of people using the Social Security system. So that, again, I know is another scary statistic, but it is important to know. Another important thing to consider here, let's say you're not a part of those statistics. Let's say you're someone that's prepared well, you've planned, you have a financial advisor. What are some things that you need to be mindful of? Well, you need to be mindful of your taxes in retirement. So what we see as financial planners a lot is folks get into retirement, they've saved well, they've done a great job being diligent, and especially if it's a DIYer, a lot of times this is where you can get tripped up because the government's number one job is to bring in revenue to pay for services around the country. The only way that the government can bring in revenue is to tax you. Mind all this tariff stuff, forget all that. I don't know, maybe they'll make money by tariffs. We'll probably see by the time this video comes out. But as of right now, taxes are the only way that the government can create revenue. So it is not their job in retirement to help you pay less in taxes. That's our job. That's the job of your financial advisor or tax professional, if you have one of those as well. But be mindful of this, because a lot of people who are great at saving money and investing money don't have the same job or don't have the same experience when it comes to withdrawing that money. Withdrawing your money, especially if it's from a qualified account such as a 401k or an IRA or 403b, this is where it can be difficult. This is where Roth conversions can come in, and this is where a lot of times people can lose a significant portion of their wealth to old Uncle Sam. Right now, if you are married and you and your spouse make it to, I believe it's 60 years old, there's a 50% chance that one of you is going to live to age 90. So an important piece, along with the taxation in retirement, is also longevity risk. So in a former video, I guess I'll put it here. In my former video, I've talked about 10 things or 10 risks to your quality of life in retirement. So 10 longevity risks. And really, that's an important video to watch just because it's things I've seen along the way, but we are seeing folks live a lot longer. So as we're talking about right now about retirement assets getting lower, we're seeing people living longer. That's not the most ideal pattern, right? We want to see both of those rising. So with the increase in medicine, now I'm hoping that we can increase, of course, our financial understanding and our education and our earnings, and of course, change that trend. Let me give you the inverse of the 3 scary statistics I gave you earlier, and then I will send you on your way. So the first one, okay? Most folks do not have any retirement assets. I encourage you to watch any of my videos where I talk about retirement accounts, or of course, other great content here on YouTube. Speak with your financial advisor, speak with your CPA, speak with someone about getting your retirement started, or even making sure that you're contributing to the right retirement accounts. Number 2, not being able to afford a major expense. I know that it might be difficult to invest money into the market because first we need to have that emergency fund filled up, right? Traditionally, we say 3 to 6 months of your expenses is what you should have either in a savings account or a money market, something that's easily accessible to you. So yes, it is crucial to have that emergency fund saved up. And there's several ways that you can do that, of course, but I know depending on the type of person I'm talking to here, it might be easier to just say, yeah, go ahead and put 3 to 6 months in a bucket, easy as that, right? And you're sitting there saying, yeah, it's a lot easier said than done. But no, the emergency fund does need to be a priority before investing. Now, the third piece of longevity, that is where you have a sound and experienced financial advisor come into the scene. Yes, I'm sort of giving myself a plug there, but it's the job of financial advisors to make sure that you can retire with peace and live your entire retirement without having fear of losing all of your money, with having to die with nothing left over, with having to go get a side job at Walmart so that you can continue to afford to eat. And of course, with Social Security, most people do depend on Social Security in some aspect to fund their living expenses in retirement. That's just going to be a storyline we have to wait and see play out. Obviously, there's a lot of changes proposed, but none accepted yet. So that's just going to be something I'll continually keep you updated on. That's it for today. I encourage you to shoot me an email if you have any questions or if you have any feedback that you'd like to hear for future videos. As always, I appreciate your viewership. Let me know if there's anything I can do for you. But I hope these statistics, if anything, have just added some urgency to your financial planning. I'm hoping that this will maybe get you to do a thing that's going to benefit your future self, right? Give yourself a high five in the future and you'll thank yourself later. So it's been good being with you. Thanks again for your viewership and have a great day.